Stand-Up Comedy, your host and MC, presents Comedy Appetizers, a podcast where you will find short comedy sets, stories, and funny bits from the famous and not so famous. Here is your host and MC, Scott Edwards.
Hi, and welcome to this week's bonus show. Hey, we got something kind of fun for you. It's some stand-up comedy by the one and only Jerry Seinfeld. He was a regular at my clubs back in the 80s, and he went on to fame and fortune with his own TV show, as you all know, and many things since. But the reason I'm bringing all this up was that back in the day, one of the great things that my club, Laughs Unlimited, was all about was preparing people for television, and people like Gary Shandling, Bob Saget, and Jerry Seinfeld used to come to my club and practice sets that they would then showcase on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And this is the case with today's stand-up comedy. Jerry had practiced this set at my club, and then several months later, performed it on The Tonight Show with huge success. I think you'll enjoy the material. Here's a little bit of Jerry Seinfeld from the 80s.
Nice. To them, that's funny. All right, so there I was. Nothing to do. Friend of mine says, let's go horseback riding. I'm a fun guy. I say, okay. Now, I don't even know, I've done this a couple of times. I'm not even really sure why we still do this. I mean, we all have cars. We don't need to. Is it just to further humiliate these animals? That we can get on their backs for the hell of it, just ride around whenever we want. I go up to the guy, he's trying to pick out the perfect horse for me. You ever go through this? He says, well, what level rider are you? I go, I don't know, 0, nothing. Whatever your system is, I can't do it. Is that clear enough for you? I go where he wants. Give me that. Of course, the guy looks around. All right, this molasses back here. Can we use him one more time? Glue stick, almost dead. Drag some of those guys up. So I get on this U-shaped lightning quick steed they've selected. I think I had the only horse you could put your feet flat on the ground while you're riding it. Okay? It's like I'm riding a hammock. And the horse is not thrilled with me either. You know horses, they just stop whenever they want. I can't control them. So I just stop, and he looks up at me. You know horses, they have that huge head like 20 feet long and that giant eye. It's like a bowling ball in his skull there, and he's giving me like some kind of horse attitude, like, just chill out, hop along, I know the trail. I'm here every damn day, for God's sake. And I really appreciate the kicking while I'm relieving myself. I get out of a car that has 200 horsepower, so I can sit on an animal. He has 1 horsepower. Why do we use the term horsepower? There's another just insulting thing to the horse. I heard them talking about a rocket engine, one of these boosters, estimated to have 20 million horsepower. Now, folks, at 20 million, is there any point in continuing to compare it to a horse? Is this in case we go back to using horses for rockets someday? We're trying to keep track of how many we're going to need. No, I don't think we're going to see a lot of horses in the space program. A lot more of it in the glue program. They do make glue out of horses. I don't know how they do it, but they're doing it. There's glue factories, horses are going in, and glue is coming out. I don't know who started this. I'd like to know who saw that potential. I mean, you're in the glue business. You see a bunch of horses. How do you pick out the really sticky ones? You know, that brown one looks adhesive. Why don't we grab him? How about that other one weaving around? Maybe he's like a crazy glue. But I would say the worst thing for the horse has got to be the horse trailer. Who designed the horse trailer? Who decided the best way to move horses out on the highway is to have their huge, fat, disgusting rear ends in my face? Is that for my benefit? Are the horses enjoying it? They're probably standing in the back talking to each other. Do you feel a draft, Bill? I anything back there, but it's awfully breezy, isn't it? You don't think our butts are hanging out the back of this truck, do you?
Well, there's nobody like Jerry Seinfeld. We could take such an innocuous subject as horseback riding and horses and make it so funny. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of comedy from back in the mid-'80s. It was a real honor to have a lot of young comics that went on to fame and fortune, including many appearances on The Tonight Show, The Letterman Show, some went into their own series like Everybody Loves Raymond, and of course Bob Saget and Dave Coulier with Full House. So a real treat to have some connection with these very talented people. I hope you enjoyed today's bonus show. We'll see you on Sunday for another great show. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Comedy Appetizers. Be sure to share with family and friends, and we will see you this Sunday for our regular podcast, your host and MC, and again next Friday for another episode of Comedy Appetizers. Bye!